Hello everyone, welcome to the Scumdogs Kennel. I'm your host, Chris Williams, and in today's Cryptid Corner mini-episode, I have a couple of great stories to read to you all today, folks, in which, mysterious things happen, in which people see big black beasts or flying cryptids, and I'm happy to basically read them to you today, folks. Either way, we'll start off with this article titled, Tall Black-Haired Horned Beast Encountered Near Johnson City, Tennessee. Let's get into it now and read exactly what happened. It was covered with thick black fur and was slimmer than the popular Bigfoot image, almost skinny with a neck. Also protruding on either side of its head were long tapered horns, also black in color. Let's get into it now and read this guy's encounter with a demonic-looking being like this, folks, because it sounds definitely very interesting. During the early afternoon of June 18th, 1997, near Johnson City, Tennessee, the witness and his cousin were out hunting and were sitting on the side of the wall of a rather large hollow, which consisted of very thick underbrush and lots of evergreen. A larger valley then leads first to a clearing and then on to a supposed old Indian graveyard. All of a sudden, they heard the brush in the hollow below rattling, and they could tell that whatever was making the sounds was rather large. The main witness was armed with a Ruger 10-22 rifle with approximately 150 rounds of ammo ready to go. Under his night vision scope, he could see what appeared to be a man, but upon further inspection, he realized that the man was a creature about 7 to 8 feet tall, approximately 450 pounds. It was covered with thick black fur and was slimmer than the popular Bigfoot image, almost skinny with a neck. Also protruding on either side of its head were long tapered horns, also black in color. On the top of the head also protruded a horn pointing straight up. All horns were approximately 5 to 6 inches in length and were the same dark color as the creature. The terrified witness emptied a 25-round clip into the creature and then retreated into a nearby cabin about 65 feet away. The next morning, they could not find anything except for lots of spent shell casings and bullet holes on a walnut tree. He thought he had struck the creature several times nearby. Animal traps had been sprung and all the bait extracted. On a nearby ridge, the witness located a series of tunnels made up of brush and various sizes of tree limbs, vines, and leaves. They thought it could have been the lair of the beast. Afraid, they returned home. Source, witness account. I have to say, folks, this story here is basically a kind of a combination of both a Bigfoot encounter and, a demonic entity being seen, because this entity sounds definitely demonic with the 3 horns protruding out of its black furred head, folks. But the way it acted, it didn't seem demonic. It didn't attack these men or basically try to kill them. It just seemed to basically curious and was walking around when these people attacked it because they were frightened of it. But afterwards, it acted very much like the way a Bigfoot has acted, either releasing the animals into the wild after extracting them from these traps, or maybe eating a few of them after he basically got at them. Either way, this sounds very much the way people have described Bigfoot behaving, either taking people's fish or basically, taking animals that they've, others have caught. This also reminds me of various encounters of dogmen, where apparently these animals will raid people's barns and maybe take livestock as well. In fact, now that I mention it, I remember stories of Bigfoot stealing farm animals too. Either way, very interesting. But now we have this next article, folks, that could possibly be maybe a Mothman or other flying cryptid encounter. Huge black-winged humanoid recently observed in Elphinstone, Derbyshire, UK. All of a sudden, we noticed a huge 8 to 10 foot tall humanoid black creature with huge wings just leap out of a tree and then fly off towards the moon. That was a brief bit from the story we'll be reading, folks. And as you can see, like the last story, folks, it has rather demonic influences in it as well, with this creature basically not having horns but having big black wings and basically being huge like the other creature. So, are these demons that we're talking about here, or are these the cryptids that inspired the myth of demons and other supernatural creatures? And the reality is maybe far different. I don't know, but it's something to wonder about before we basically get into the story. But let's now put all of that aside for the moment and read the story, and then we can basically discuss what we've read about today, folks. Hi, I've just felt so overwhelmed and confused since our strange experience yesterday, April 12th, 2024. My name's Ben, and I'm from England, UK, and a few friends and I went on a drive late last night to a castle located in Elphinstone, Derbyshire, UK. It must have been midnight, GMT, and we were driving down an isolated road into a forest. All of a sudden, we noticed a huge 8 to 10 foot tall humanoid black creature with huge wings just leap out of a tree and then fly off towards the moon. What made it unusual was that it was a misty night, but there was also a bright full moon, which allowed visibility of this creature, and this was during witching hour. We saw the shape of its head and body, but didn't see any eyes. This humanoid figure with wings, how big and long it was, and how it flew off made me realize this was not natural BC. There's also a note with a little more information, so let's read that before I go any further. This report was sent to me through Instagram, and I didn't notice it until today. I'm going to forward this report to Richard Freeman. Very interesting, folks. Looks like they basically want other people to investigate this matter as well. Maybe the area is in fact a window area, and this is why this creature was seen, folks. They probably also want to research this area to see if anyone else has also seen these black flying humanoids or other, supernatural creatures, or maybe, there have been UFO accounts in the area too. I don't know. Either way, this might be the first in many reports from this particular location, folks, that we'll probably see in the future. I wouldn't doubt that. But, folks, let's consider for a moment exactly what these things are. Like I said earlier, I have my own ideas. It sounds like both creatures sound rather demonic in their descriptions that the witnesses gave. This big black creature about 8 feet tall and with 3 horns growing out of its head sounds rather demonic to me. I said earlier, folks, maybe these creatures are what inspired the myths of what we think of as demons and other, evil creatures of the night. I mean, the 8-foot tall horned beast sounded rather like Bigfoot, and it behaved like him as well. It didn't overtly attack these people. It didn't even act like Bigfoot, where it would scream or throw rocks or trees near the people to drive them out of, its territory. This could be because this creature did not know these hunters were there, because if it did, it might have been more wary, or maybe tried to sneak up on them and try to frighten them out of its territory, as I said, much like the way Bigfoot does. But was this a Bigfoot? Maybe it was, and it was somehow deformed. But then again, that wouldn't explain why this thing seemingly had 3 perfect horns growing out of its head. Unless maybe this was a one-off thing here, folks. I don't know. Either way, it sounds, as I said, like a Bigfoot, but with the horns, it makes me think that maybe this creature was something else. And then there's the winged humanoid creature here, folks. What was that thing? I mean, the witnesses only got a quick, brief glimpse of this thing, and all they could really tell was that it had black wings and that it was 8 to 10 feet tall or so. So much like other accounts, these creatures are huge, but still, they seem to exhibit abilities that, shouldn't be possible. Because if you think about it, folks, an 8 to 10 foot tall creature like this shouldn't be able to fly. This is what the skeptics and most scientists would say. Yet this humanoid entity was able to take to the skies, at least if you believe the witness. But then again, folks, maybe this is a hoax. Maybe not by the witnesses themselves, but something done to them. Remember, they said that there was a full moon during the night, but it was also very misty and cloudy. So maybe what they saw was some sort of illusion, maybe done by some people, either in the military or maybe affiliated with it, trying to hoax people. Maybe this was a test of some sort of hologram technology, and they were trying to see how people would react to its use, and see if basically people would come forward saying that they saw some sort of flying winged demonic being out, in the UK. Or maybe this really wasn't an account of people seeing once more some sort of flying cryptid that they just do not understand. Both are possibly feasible, folks. Then again, skeptics will argue, obviously, it's all just a lie because they don't have physical proof of it. I don't know, folks. That's usually the case with these kinds of stories, but I tend to believe that too many people are seeing too many things to think it's all just hoaxes. I think these people actually did see something, and people all around the world are still seeing these things. Either way, it's still something to wonder about. But we're at the end, folks, so please go subscribe to my YouTube channel. Read comics that are bad for you. You can use the YouTube link down below in the descriptions or the chat to go subscribe to me. There are other links to Twitter, Rumble, Odyssey, Twitch, or BitChute, Dark Saints, Webit Co-op, and stitched together pics. And remember, I upload exclusive videos to Rumble, Odyssey, Twitch, or BitChute that I do not upload to YouTube. If you want to see them, use those links down below in the descriptions or the chat to go subscribe to my channels on those websites. Hit that like button for me. Make sure you're still subscribed. Leave some comments down below. Hit that bell for notifications. Make sure to hit the part of the bell that will give you all future notifications, and please share this video out. I'm Chris Williams from the Scumdogs Kennel. Thank you all for joining me. I'll be back again tomorrow with another great video, so be sure to come back again then. Till next time, folks, I'll see you all again soon.